Say you have a dog. This dog has developed a habit of barking at people on walks. You want to rid of this problem, but you're left with a common question of how. Do you punish the bark in hopes that it rids the pesky problem? Or do you train an alternative behavior and reward that instead? My name is Gabrielle Plasick, certified professional dog trainer, knowledge assessed. And I began my career of dog training with aversive and traditional type training, mostly involving punishment. And I'm what's called a crossover trainer. I have crossed over into the world of positive reinforcement training instead. I am here today to teach you that positive reinforcement is the most effective method of training with the least amount of fallout. In doing so, I will be taking you more in depth on how science teaches us that punishment inhibits learning, while positive reinforcement teaches a dog what to do. Punishment reduces confidence, while positive reinforcement teaches dogs to offer behavior and builds confidence. And that punishment can lead to unintentional negative associations, while positive reinforcement is always fun for the learner. We will begin with my first main point being punishment inhibits learning. When using punishment, we're not removing the reinforcement that caused the behavior to occur in the first place. Therefore, the behavior is likely to still occur in absence of the punishment or punisher. According to Michael Carson, PhD, JD, in Psychology Today, punishment does not change the tendency to engage in the behavior that was punished. Instead, makes the person or the rat avoid the source of punishment. Meanwhile, positive reinforcement teaches a dog what to do. While punishment causes avoidance, positive reinforcement is reinforcing a more appropriate behavior in place of the one tempted to be punished. What is reinforced is repeated. Also, a past history of positive reinforcement in dog training is linked to better success at teaching the new behavior, according to Zazie Todd, PhD, Companion Animal Psychology. My next main reason is that punishment reduces the level of confidence in the learner. Punishment inhibits learning and suppresses behavior without telling the learner what to do instead, causing them to be unsure of what to do at all times. James O'Hare stated in his book, The Aggressive Dog Workbook, because punishment can never be applied consistently and predictably, this leads to learned helplessness, a state resistant to rehabilitation, as the dog cannot control or have confidence in his environment. Yet if we flip that around, positive reinforcement teaches a dog what we want from them, and that builds their confidence. Pat Miller states, it builds confidence to understand what you're asking of him and to understand the consequences of his behavior. Of course, it goes without saying that it will be positive reinforcement training so that the consequences are happy ones. Lastly, punishment can lead to unintentional negative associations. DogWelfareCampaign.org tells us this means that although the trainer may intend the dog to associate pulling on the lead with the pressure on the neck, the dog may associate the latter with something completely different. This type of unintentional association can heighten fear and aggression towards humans and dogs. For example, if you're walking with your dog and it's on a prong or choke chain and it sees a person or dog and gets excited, causing a behavior you dislike, so you correct that behavior with a punisher, such as a jerk on the collar, that dog doesn't necessarily associate the punisher with the behavior, but he may associate the punisher with the dog or the person, causing him to increase his fear or aggression towards the person or start developing one where he never had one, which is no good. On the contrary, positive reinforcement is always fun for the learner. The main thing I teach in positive reinforcement training is that learning is supposed to be fun for both the learner and the teacher. Valuable lessons can become of enjoying what we're doing, and this leads to a higher chance of us wanting to do what's learned again and again and again. Also, positive associations can actually reduce fear and aggression tendencies. If we're having fun around what once was scary or what we fear, we tend to see those things in a different way, and they tend to become more positive instead of negative. To bring these all together, not only is positive reinforcement a more accurate way of learning, it doesn't have the inhibiting and negative fallouts that punishment risks. It has a higher impact on the learner while creating reason to retain the lessons, and it's simply more fun for everyone around. I encourage you to pick up a book on positive reinforcement and learn and start making positive changes in your learner's life today. It doesn't have to be with dogs. It can be with children. It can be with any other species of animal. But if you are interested in learning more about dogs in general or about positive reinforcement for canines, I highly recommend any book by Karen Pryor. Because as Willie Nelson once said, once you replace negative thoughts with positive ones, you'll start having positive results. Thank you.